we have two more topics. So we can talk about what you expect, and you kind of got after it about how much you expect them to play. And somebody in the chat had that question about the O-line. So just give me what you're going to be looking out for on Friday's game.
Well, I'm with you. I was struck by the fact that Coker was not very involved in that practice yesterday. I mean, it sounds like there were times he was open, the ball just didn't come his way. So,
yeah,
obviously you've got to, if you're Brad Idzik and that Carolina offense on Friday night, you have got to string some first downs together. I mean, you cannot have 3 and out and in comes Sam Martin to punt. I mean, just then the alarms are going to start going off, and it's like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? And so first of all, just that. Get Rob Hunt out there, get Damian Lewis, see what that starting offensive line looks like when all the pieces are together. A viewer, a fan here pointed out very correctly that it's hard to judge Fortner because he hadn't been playing next to those guys. So let's get a look. Let's see if they can't just sustain it. Even if you go down and you end up kicking a field goal, like anything just to move the chains and you start feeling a little bit better about the Brad Idzik play calling. And again, I know it's vanilla stuff, but you still want to have some success like they did at Canton. But that feels a little hollow because that was none of the starters that night in Canton, and last week in Buffalo it was. So, I mean, for me, it starts like that up front, and I guess that's going to mean Brooks and Achan and Dillon, because I don't think Chuba is going to play.
Yeah.
And defensively, a little better outing from it's another big test in terms of Trevor Lawrence isn't Josh Allen, but he's pretty good. And it's a team that beat you last year in week 1. And so let's see how they can do defensively. Can they get any pressure out of their base on Lawrence the way they did on Josh Allen?
Yeah, for sure. They just for what it's worth, I guess, in joint practice, they didn't get a ton of pressure on them. And I thought Cohen did a good job with the play action. And they ended up springing their tight ends open a lot. So I want to see if they can make any adjustments covering the tight end, because that was a problem for them last year, specifically in the game versus Jacksonville. You bring in a guy like Devin Lloyd, who you expect to somewhat have a role in covering the tight ends, but a lot of it has to do with the secondary. And I saw a lot of J.C. Horn on the inside, and they've been working him in the slot. We'll see if he how he's deployed, if they kind of save that type of stuff for a later date, especially with Will Lee kind of being TBD. He didn't practice, and so they actually had Shaw Smith-Wade running outside corner, surprisingly. So we'll see how much they use there, and like you want to see how they factor into covering the tight end. So that's all I kind of want to see in those opening couple of drives with the starters. But I'm with you. Like the bar is pretty low for the offense. You move the sticks once, there probably won't be any Panthers fans there, but you'll get a murmur and a clap probably from me at home just to kind of convert and move the sticks without a penalty from a lineman being downfield. But yeah, you want to see the starters get a good little lather. You want to see that starting group get going and just even getting points just so they can like exhale. And I don't know if they're feeling any pressure or whatever, but I think the tension from the fans, they kind of want to see this offense put things together and at least put some things on display that they can actually just be excited about with the new OC compared to what the Hall of Fame game was. Like you said, it was just almost night and day. They scored pretty much at will after those first couple drives then. But that's kind of the big thing for me. Matchup-wise, I'm definitely looking at Freeling. I didn't get a chance to look at the linemen a ton in the joint practice. I definitely want to see how they go up when there's live bullets against, again, Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker, and again, Rick Armstead as well. So I'm going to be having my eyes on the trenches. Any specific position you're looking at?
I like not to jump on your bandwagon. I want to look at Freeling and Walker. Like I said, some of the I noticed too. He likes whenever someone puts out one of his clips from a practice or a preseason game. Rasheed Walker is quick to retweet it. And like yesterday, I guess he had one against Trayvon Walker, and he said hashtag the real Walker. I want to, Devin Lloyd going back to Jacksonville, that's fine. I think we know what Devin Lloyd can do. That he is the real deal. But I don't know. I want to see Bryce. I honestly, that sack he took last week, he could have gotten that ball out, and, on that or early crosser, that quick crosser.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to see what Bryce has to do. And I think the importance of this gets heightened a little bit too, Dunk, because I don't know that the starters are going to play that following week at Houston. And
Yeah.
they're going to be in the joint practice,
Yeah.
the one in Charlotte, of course. So that mitigates it some. But I think we talked about this last week or the week before. I think Canales sat those starters in the final preseason game last year, did he not?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did, and I agree with you. That joint practice probably with that. That's going to be a physical practice, I would assume. That's just how the Texans are wired with their coach. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
But it does add to the importance. Again, let's not make too much of an August game, but it you want to have some success offensively tomorrow, and especially if it's going to be the last time Bryce and company are going to be out there.
Yeah, and obviously it's not the be all end all. And I'm on a couple platforms, so I see like the narratives and people talking fan wise. But I think a lot of this stuff is just driven by training camp being closed. And I hate to kind of keep harping on it, but I feel like the Panthers got a good vibe of what they can see with their own eyes or whatever on a daily basis. Because there's only so much you guys as the media can tweet out and say to give descriptions and stuff. And so like I think not having that daily interaction from fans, it's kind of tough to get a feel. So they're grasping on that every little thing, even if it's only 9 snaps. They're putting so much weight on it. And it's just such a swing in momentum on just feelings and stuff. And that's just part of being a fan, of course. And I just think it puts a lot more weight on how fans feel about these preseason games when, in the grand scheme, they literally have nothing to do with the regular season. They're not
Right.
nothing, but they're definitely not everything.
Right.
I think the way Canales has handled preseason he's kind of made that bed to where fans are going to put a lot of weight on these preseason games.
It's funny. You were talking earlier about Canales' comments about you didn't earn a fourth series. We didn't earn a fourth series. Well, that same day, which I guess was Monday, he said something like, "Man, I wish fans could see our practices." And he has a point there. I mean, I've written a lot of kind of praiseworthy words about Bryce Young this summer,
Yeah.
because I've seen him have what to me has been his best training camp, and but fans aren't in there, and we're not allowed to film every period, no team periods, so
Yeah.
it's kind of hard. But yeah, I kind of got a kick out of Canales saying, "Man, wish these fans could get in here." Well, you could open the practices, or you could have tried to stay at Wofford another 2 years. But at any rate, I guess there'll be fans back in there next summer. And you're right, man. That looking at your pictures and videos and other people, I think that Jacksonville layout is going to look just like the Panthers layout is going to look just like Jacksonville's, even down to where the field house kind of goes,
Yeah.
across the field at the far end.
Yeah, and then the whole little fan row strip building thing on the side where they have fans out on the porch. Like I said, it was a nice setup. You would have never known it was 135 degrees out there, just the way the thing was set up, and like I said, full concessions and stuff. But yeah, and I think they even mentioned it before. I think Canales said it was a little bit of a shock having that road field because there's actually fans at practice. So like the Jacksonville fans actually cheering loud whenever the stuff was happening. Like every field goal that went up, the fans were cheering. Any kind of running back that broke out, even though he was clearly down, they would run to the end zone. The crowd would go crazy. And even when the fights went out, you heard Duval chants. And so I think, and Canales, like I said, mentioning it, I think they do miss the fans being at practice. So hopefully things work out next year. Hopefully they're done with everything, and it'll be all well and good. And I'll try to make my best to get back to every practice like I kind of used to do. But
Yeah, man.
we'll see what
Get
happens.